Thanks. All right, let's jump in because we'll probably get behind schedule quick. Actually, the schedule will be a little fluid, so I'll go to the agenda. I thought real quickly, just because I know there's people that keep adding on to this core flight, just to kind of give the context, the historical context kind of tells you where we are, because programmatically we are still challenged, and this whole point of this workshop is to, it's fully transparent, so we're not trying to, gloss over anything. So it really did start like before 2007, NASA Goddard. We actually stepped back and did an analysis of our flight projects and the flight software, and that's where we got some project-independent money, and we were able to come up with a product line approach. But that was in-house. And then in 2007, Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, which is still orbiting the moon, they used the operating system abstraction layer and the core flight executive. And then basically, this was really the birth of the core flight system, and that's everything together. So we had the core flight executive. Then at this point, we developed 12 applications, and we had also lost some of the project-independent funding. So a lot of that was done leveraging projects, so we could mature things to be reusable, but you can only do that incrementally, and so it was over a long time. And we had also shared it with Johnson, and they had done a Class A certification on the ARINC 653, and they've actually fed that back into a lot of the artifacts back into. Oh, we'll try this again.
Yeah, that works now.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. So then we had our first. It was a NASA only. We all got together at Glenn, and that's when we actually formed the configuration control board that is now still controlling the CFS. And I'll get to what CFS even is in a later presentation, because that's one of my goals today is help define that and get some feedback from everybody. So then in early January of 2015, Goddard released their 12 open source apps. The CCB was actually now functioning and operating with multi-centers, controlling, and they were able to release CFE 642. And then one just historical note is that functionally, since LRO in 2007, the API hasn't changed. There's been some syntactic changes, but functionally, it's really remained stable. So that's a big selling point for investing into it. And then we held our first, 2 years ago here, we had our first workshop. And now we're in our adolescence, so expect some rebellion going on. So here we are in 16 and 17. They've done multiple releases of CFE. Johnson's made some contributions back. We don't have a general model yet for getting contributions back, and we know that's a frustration. And that's, I'm going to present some ideas during the program management section, and then I'd love to get feedback and ideas people have. And now we're at our second and third workshops. And last one was at Caltech, and now we're back on the East Coast. So I don't want to go too. So real quickly, where is the CFS? And I don't want to actually. Who's working on a project that involves the CFS? Wow, that's great. That's great. So here, and I am a little, one, I could get the information, and it was a short time pulling these slides together. So this one is the NICER. It's an instrument on the space station, and real quickly, I'll talk while that plays. But this is showing the point and control algorithm operating the instrument. And one of the neat things there is that we use the Simulink interface layer, which was originally developed at Ames, and Goddard has since used it. And what that allows us to do is auto-generate a CFS app from MathWorks on Simulink models. And actually, I want to point Steve Lentini's there. He actually worked on this pointing, so he's the analyst on NICER that did the Simulink work, and then we automatically generated the app. And then it was just June when this was installed and then deployed on the space station. And I won't swear by the CFE 6.4, so I might have gotten I didn't get all the time to research what versions, but it gives you an idea of what we were using. Then just this month, or last month, I guess now, here's the Dillinger CubeSat being released from the deployment mechanism on the space station, and Alan was a big part of that, and he'll have a presentation during the week. So that was very exciting, and he's using free RTOS and the GOM space nanomine processor. So he's got plenty of good stuff on that. I'm going to kind of go through quickly because there's a lot today, so I don't want to take it all introducing. But anyway, there's some more things. Where are we going? And obviously, with the show of hands, there's a lot going on. And here's just a couple highlights. So we got a lot of CubeSats going on. Biosentinel at Ames, and Goddard's got a couple more. Moorhead State has the Lunar Ice Cube. Capital One, I think, is doing. They might be launching I think that's 2019. Then the last at Colorado is using for a deep space mission. Then there's also the lunar transportation and the catalyst. It's a lot easier to say than the big words there. But there's partnerships with NASA. There's actually 3 organizations all work with NASA, and all 3 of them are using the CFS. So that's pretty exciting. And then even our next flagship mission within Goddard, the W1st is, I don't know when that launches, but Bruce could tell us. He's the lead right here. So 2025. And then Orion backup computer, so the manned missions. So we got even in the manned. So it's really got a wide scope. And where could it go? This was pretty exciting. I don't know who goes to a small sat, but I've now been 2 years in a row, and I really enjoy that conference. And this was a chart that was shown about the projection. I'm not quite sure why it dipped in 2016, but of CubeSat launches. So there's a lot of opportunity for CFS, at least in that world. And then this was the NASA. This is the NASA CubeSat selections for 2017, and they've really expanded their CubeSat initiative. And they've been doing that, I don't know how many years now, but we're definitely making some inroads into the CubeSat world. So basically, from the workshop, obviously, main thing is the people. So we're going to get everybody together in a room and get some people talking. So we know we don't have the website as good as it could be, and there's other communication things, but if you haven't one of the, and I'm coming clean, so we have very limited funding. So it's actually the advanced exploration system that's been our lifeline the last couple of years. And so even though registration was free, there's a $1,000 fee to get out of the room. So we're going to raise some CFS money. It's the only way we're going to. So basically, yeah. So basically, when we get to the current state of things, and we got, you got your experts here, and please utilize them and get the communication going from the technical point of view, and then pretty much connect ideas with the people. So here's the organized agenda. We've got program management. So I'll be giving an overview. Joe Hickey's on a train right now, so that might slip. He's going to give you a 6.6 release, and he's been deeply involved in all the details. So please use him. He's glad he could make it today. And then Jonathan and Joe will give a technology roadmap, and then Lori will give the advanced exploration CFS. They've been heavily involved in projects. So then we'll have a platform session that Alan and Joe will give their technology roadmap, and then we have 3 presentations. And in the spirit of, we'll get there. I'm not going to read through everything. Well, that way we'll get through to the sessions. Then we have a tools session. Then we have an application session. And then this was what we're going to do a little different this year, is where the community basically, enough presentations. We're going to have a couple people that have demos or stations, and we'll just talk. So we'll have hopefully couple hours, 1 to 2 hours of getting everyone to connect. And we can have breakout sessions on whatever topics. So these were the demos and posters that'll be going. I'm not going to go through that now. We'll have a time to introduce those later. And then also throughout the week, I don't know who's staying for the week, but there's actually a lot of there's still other CFS presentations. So if you're hanging out for the week, but some had a broader scope. So just to kind of let you know to tune in to certain ones. Again, I'm not going to read through them all right now, but I just want to make you aware of them.